Hi there, my name is Dr. Andrew Hoyman, and I'm an assistant professor of physical therapy at Chapman University, and I'll be one of the TAs in ReproRehab this year. My alumni presentation is about 5 very believable tips to become a ReproRehab wonderkin. Tip number 1, don't wait for your data. What we've experienced in the past is that people really want to be able to learn how to code, but they're waiting to learn how to code until they have the exact data they need to be able to work on their project. These things don't have to happen in sequence like that. Instead, go onto the ReproRehab website, go to the database or ReproRehab DB, and find a test data set that you can start to play around with so that you can learn to code from that. And then once your code comes in, you'll be able to easily swap it in and out so that everything will be working kind of in parallel with one another. Adopt a growth mindset. Learning anything new is always going to be challenging. Learning to code is something that can be especially challenging as well. You start out really not knowing anything at all, down here at the clueless phase, but then you learn a lot of things really quickly and you feel like that you're probably getting the hang of this and maybe this will be something you can actually use. But very early on or later on, what you'll experience is that it's actually a lot more difficult than it at first seemed to be. But stick with it. You can get out of this valley here and eventually become a master at these types of things and even be able to teach others how to use it as well. Just remember that with persistence, you'll be able to get there. From my experience, people don't really learn how to code very well if they just do it in kind of short incremental blocks. Coding is not like using Duolingo where you can sit at the bus stop and you're able to just kind of take in a brief 5-minute lesson. Coding really takes immersion. I would recommend that if you're going to set aside time to code, make sure to do it within long hours long blocks and not shorter blocks. It takes a little bit of time management to be able to do this, but this is really helpful in being able to accelerate your learning process. And then when you finally have time to code, try to make sure that you're actually kind of matching up the kind of challenge that you're doing, the kind of thing that you're trying to solve in that session with whatever your current ability is, so that you can enter into this state of flow. When you're in a state of flow, you're able to be focused, you're able to avoid frustration, and eventually the time will just fly by and you'll really be able to spend hours working on a project, being both productive and feeling like you're gaining competency in what you're trying to learn. Many times when we come up to a problem, sometimes we feel like we have to try to create some kind of new tool or automation to be able to solve it for us. And a lot of times we run into problems in which we don't know how to solve right away. The important thing is don't try to sink a lot of time into trying to do something that probably there already is a solution to. There's always an easier way. And somebody has probably already invented that for you. So I love this comic here where it really outlines where you have a problem, you go online to search it, and somebody seems to have the same exact problem that you do, but then there's no answer, meaning that maybe somebody did solve it but just didn't post it out there. So there are solutions out there. Some of them are harder to find than others, but it's definitely going to be easier when you use the bonus tip here and you're able to connect with other people in the community who can link you to the resources and solutions that you're looking for. It's important to be able to really kind of practice on your own, but ultimately the fastest path forward sometimes just comes from the support of others in the community. So don't be afraid to go out there, ask for help, connect with the other ReproRehab learners and TAs, and really try to figure out what's the best way for you to be able to learn this within the time that we have together. All right, thanks a lot, and I hope to see you soon.